She shouted before I'd even fully stepped inside. "Get out of here. You can't afford our cars." Her voice cut through the sleek air of the showroom, sharp, smug, and far too loud for a space draped in leather and chrome. Heads turned, strangers' faces carrying quiet judgment. I didn't budge. I just stared at her, my wife's sister. It's strange how familiarity can sour into disgust so subtly you almost forget where it began. She called for security, her voice wavering this time, not from fear, but from self-righteous certainty. She thought she knew exactly who I was, the broke husband her sister had abandoned, the failure who'd crumbled after being betrayed in business. If only she knew what she'd just stumbled into. Before the guards could reach me, a man in a tailored navy suit emerged from his glass office. Her boss. His shoes clicked on the marble-like punctuation marks heralding her downfall. He stopped between us, faced her, and said calmly, "This gentleman's Rolls-Royce has arrived." Then, almost as an afterthought, he added, "And you're fired." The silence that followed wasn't just quiet, it was exquisite. She froze, lips parted, words faltering on air that refused to comply. And I finally smiled, because this moment, this precise instant, had been meticulously crafted months ago. 6 months earlier, I was a different man, still naive enough to believe in loyalty, still married, still blind. It began with whispers, late-night texts she wouldn't explain, sudden work trips that never added up, a faint shift in her perfume, the silence that met my questions. Her sister, Ava, was always there, feigning concern. "She's just tired," she'd say. "You're overthinking." But I wasn't. I was observant. I always have been. The truth hit me one night, not by chance, but by habit. I'd started backing up our shared phone data to the cloud without her knowledge, not out of suspicion, but survival. That's how I found them, photos, messages, hotel receipts booked under fake names. My wife and my business partner, the two people I'd trusted most. I didn't confront her then. That would have been mercy, and I was done with mercy. I learned something crucial in that moment: betrayal doesn't break you, it sharpens you. So, I stayed quiet. I went to work as usual, smiled at her over breakfast, ignored her flimsy excuses. But every night, I planned. I'd built the company, every idea, every deal, all mine. Yet the legal documents listed joint ownership, a rookie error I vowed to fix. I hired a discreet ally, a lawyer whose loyalty came with precision and silence. Together, we uncovered the cracks: tax evasion tied to my partner's name, hidden accounts, fraudulent transfers he thought I'd never notice. I didn't expose him right away. I let him feel safe, let him grow comfortable while I tightened the noose. At home, my wife kept up her act. She even invited Ava over for dinner one night. I watched her sister laugh at my table, her eyes dripping with pity masked as superiority. She didn't know I already knew. She didn't know she was next. When everything was in place, I struck. First, I transferred all legitimate assets to a new company, legally mine. Then, I sent an anonymous tip to the tax authorities, detailing every shred of evidence against my partner. He was arrested within a week. My wife's panic was instant. She called him repeatedly, got no answer, then turned to me, voice shaking for the first time in months. "What's happening?" she asked. "Just business," I said, and walked out. By month's end, divorce papers were on her desk. She left the house screaming that I'd ruined her life. Maybe I had. Maybe she deserved worse. Ava, predictably, took her side, called me vindictive, told everyone I'd gone broke after the split. I let her believe it. I even fed the rumor. Silence is a powerful thing, rumors thrive in it, filling the void with whatever fits. And I let her fill it with lies, because lies make the truth hit harder when it lands. That brings us back to the dealership. I hadn't gone there to buy a car, not initially. But fate, or maybe irony, handed me an opportunity one couldn't pass up. The same dealership where Ava worked had just partnered with my new company's luxury fleet expansion. So, I made a call. One order, paid in full, a Rolls-Royce Phantom, black, custom interior, worth more than Ava's annual salary. When I walked in that morning, I knew what was coming. Her reaction was predictable, her cruelty consistent. She had no idea her boss already knew me, or that the payment had cleared under my company's name, the one that now owned half their dealership chain. So when he fired her in front of everyone, it wasn't just for me. It was because she'd insulted one of their biggest clients. I didn't need to say a word. Her face said it all. As I left, the salesman handed me the keys. Unsure what to say, I took them slowly, feeling the weight of everything they symbolized: silence, patience, justice. Ava stood by the glass doors, eyes red, trembling with confusion and humiliation. I turned to her once, just once, and said quietly, "You were right, Ava. I can't afford your cars." Then I opened the door of the Rolls and smiled, because I own them now. The engine purred to life, a sound that didn't roar or shout, but hummed. Smooth, confident, unruffled. Like me. As I drove off, I glanced at my reflection in the rearview mirror and realized something profound: revenge isn't about rage. It's about balance. And sometimes, the sweetest sound of victory is the silence that follows a scream.